Hey everyone, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Saturday, December 9th, 2017. Now, what we have going on today is we've got the moon here hanging out in Virgo, where it just entered last night, okay? So what that's going to bring our attention to really is discipline in a lot of ways, planning, structure, organization, okay? Trying to get a plan for our life, to figure out some of the details, work out some stuff that's going on so that we can start to live it in a much more practical way moving forward, okay? There could have been a lot of exciting stuff that came up yesterday, maybe some unexpected insights or events or things like that you're now having to learn today. How do I make these unexpected things happen? How do I take all of these insights and these things that have come up and start to move forward on them in a really practical way that can really help me, okay? So I think that's the question that's coming in here. What a lot of this stuff probably has to do with, a lot of this planning that you're working on is something new in some way, because we do have the moon here in a square with Venus, which is in Sagittarius, okay? So I think there's some new thing, some new commitment that I've been talking about for a while with all of this stuff going on here in Sagittarius that you're really, really working on. And I think what you're having to figure out today is how you can put a plan in place to sustain some new commitment that you're making, okay? So that you can start to move forward on your beliefs as well, and on this new way that you're starting to make sense of your life. Because this is a square, it could be a little bit uncomfortable here, because we want to do the Sagittarius thing, be excitable, do something new that we feel is better for us in some way, but really having to stick now to the details here instead of looking at the big picture. And I think that's what we're trying to work out here, is how to do something we want to do that's exciting, see the big picture, but be able to also work towards it on the day-to-day and trying to bring all of that together, okay? So that's what's going on. As that's happening, we also do, and that's going to happen at 10 a.m. Shortly after that happens, we have the moon move into an opposition with Neptune at noon Utah time, okay? And what's going on there is, as we're trying to put a plan in place here to make something new a reality, to do something new that we really want to do, or be able to live our beliefs more fully. I think that can be another thing that comes up. There could be some confusion as well about what we're doing and about how we're planning our life and putting things into place on the day-to-day. Okay, not only is it a little bit uncomfortable, but maybe we're unsure how we can do something that it is that we need to do in a really practical way to get our life in the right spot. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out, okay? I think the message here with the opposition from the moon to Neptune is not to get so lost in confusion here, but to figure out how to bring more of what you're feeling on the inside out into the open, so that you can create better plans that are better for you, that can help you do something that you know that you need to do in a much better way, all right? Especially with Mercury here in Sagittarius going retrograde, and Venus and Virgo, of course, being a Mercury ruled sign where the moon is. A big thing being going over some old plans, going over some things from the past here, so that you can put a better plan in place moving forward, so that you can make sure that your life isn't as crazy or hectic or chaotic as it has been. And I think the opposition to Neptune that we have today coming in at noon Utah time is really asking you, if you're going to make a plan to do something new, how can you make sure that you're doing it right and that you're the most comfortable with it inside and internally, so that you're doing the things that need to be done, so that you can start to bring everything together and feel much better about some new thing that you are doing, okay? Because we are coming here the last few weeks now of Saturn and Sagittarius, and we're building up to a new moon in Sagittarius as well. So I think we're starting to wind down our old life, wind down everything from the past, and start to detach from that. I know I've talked about that a lot the past few days, okay? And I think we're starting to attach ourselves way more to some new thing that is coming up, some really big new commitment into making sense of our lives in new and different ways, and really stepping into new chapters. And I think that's what's coming coming in here is not only are we trying to identify more with some big new commitments that we're making, but we're having to learn how to do it in a very practical and disciplined way, and to really work out some of the details and the nuts and bolts so that we can begin to do this thing that's especially coming in here with Virgo. And I think if you can figure out here how to do the details, how to do the nuts and bolts, how to make a plan and strategize and be really practical about moving forward, I think it's going to help you later in the day around 2 p.m. Utah time, when the moon sextiles Jupiter here in Scorpio. It's going to help you to understand better what's going on inside you, and understand any deep feelings that you have, uncover any uncomfortable feelings so that you can heal them and make them better and do some things that you need to do. I think it's also going to help you a lot more to make some changes you need to make to start to more fully let yourself do some new thing, make some new commitments that you need to make, and be on board with it. As to where maybe in the past few weeks it's been really hard to make changes, it's been really frustrating to deal with some deep emotions and secrets and things hidden beneath the surface. Sexuality and intimacy could have been hard as well. I think it's going to start to get easier now that Venus has left Scorpio, and now that Mars as well is moving into Scorpio, where it will eventually conjunct Jupiter here. Helping you to expose some things that have been bothering you, to make some of the adjustments that you need to put your life in a better place to move forward. And I think the moon here, making this really pretty sextile to Jupiter today at 2 p.m. Utah time, is going to help you here, even if planning feels uncomfortable, even if getting a strategy on where your life is going and on moving forward on some things is uncomfortable. I think finding a way to be practical here and to think about the details is really going to help you heal some hard emotional stuff, and to really begin to put your life in a better spot, even if it takes some effort here for you to strategize, to do things, and to put in the work to make a lot of these new chapters happen. All right. So that is what is happening there. Then after this, here, I'll go ahead and I'll just delete my chart really quick. After the moon over here makes this sextile to Jupiter, which it's going to do at 2 p.m., then around midnight, so the very, very end of the day, it's going to make both a square here to the sun and a trine to Pluto right around the same time happening. So if you can figure out during most of the day here how to put a plan in place, do the work, strategize about your life, be very practical and disciplined to do something new that it is that you need to do. Not only do I think it's going to help heal some feelings deep below the surface, help you again make some changes in a much bigger and better way to do something that you need to do. I think it's also going to help you here where Pluto is, to start to move your life in a better direction, to change your reputation, to change the direction you thought your life was going in, and to rearrange some things, okay, so that your life is just being put in a better place. Okay, but I think it's really going to depend on you really trying to make a plan, break through any confusion that you have, create a set of daily routines and a strategy that is better for you in some way. And I think if you can do that, it's definitely going to help you later on here start to identify more with something new that you're doing, feel better, and start to move your life in a new and different direction. Okay, with Pluto here in Capricorn, I think our reputations are changing, our social standing is changing, where we thought our life was going is going in a whole bunch of crazy directions maybe that we weren't planning on either. And I think putting the strategy here into place is going to help you to figure out some of this way that your life is changing for the better, to help you make sense of it and to help you move forward. Now you do have to realize that trines to Pluto, anything to Pluto, really can be a little bit hard. So there could definitely be some intense feelings that do come up at midnight with the moon in a trine to Pluto here. Maybe really wanting to change your life for the better, to move your life in the right direction, feeling like maybe it's a little bit difficult for you to do that too. But again, staying dedicated, staying disciplined, putting a plan in place here, not letting yourself get too carried away here with maybe some fears and insecurities that it is that you have about your life, is going to be key to really helping you start to do some things that it is that you need to do. That's what I see going on there. Part of the reason why I think things are going to be pretty good and are going to start to be a lot easier for you to move forward, to identify with where your life is going, to make some big commitments and to not feel so held back by the past, is because today also is the first day here that we have Mars here hanging out in Scorpio, where Mars loves to be. Mars is at home in Scorpio, and it's going to conjunct Jupiter very soon too. So that's going to make any changes you need to make a lot easier. Any uncomfortable feelings, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to feel those feelings and to understand them and to put them in a proper place, and to just do some things you need to do. Work better with people too. Could be a little bit easier today as well in organizing your finances. Mars and Scorpio can definitely help you do that too. So I think you're starting to feel like there's lots of positive change here to start to really identify with where your life is going. It's just making sure that you're putting in the work, you're backing it all up, and you're bringing everything together here so that you can start to point your life in the direction that you want it to go in and feel really good about where it's going at the nighttime. All right, on top of that, we do have Jupiter still. I've been talking about this for a while, in a trine with Neptune. So again, lots of good stuff all of a sudden here happening with Scorpio. Being much easier for you to understand yourself, to make some changes you need to make, and to go deep, which again is going to help you to feel more comfortable internally with where your life is going. I think underneath the surface of all of this other stuff that we're doing in life, all of these new things, commitments, planning, I think we're trying to get right with ourselves in a deeper, more spiritual, internal level too. And I think that's definitely possible if we just don't forget about some of the practical matters here and creating something that's more stable in life and that we can move forward on. All right. What else do we have? Venus also here in a square with Neptune, so could be some confusion here with relationships, passion projects, money, but I think we're starting to overcome some of this confusion. I think we're starting to get a better handle on it here to start to make some of the changes that you need to make, identify with your new life, with where your life is going, and begin to step into it here, and needing to listen to your intuition and whatever comes to you so that you can start to do some things that it is that you need to do and really begin to feel much better about life, or to accept the life that it is that you have, and now start to do some things you need to do to make it better. All right, Sun again in a trine with the North Node, big opportunities to manifest, to do things, to get things done. I think there's lots of opportunity here for sure. Just got to keep the plans. You just got to keep the plans going on here with Virgo, and making sure you're being detailed and disciplined about stuff that's coming up. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, again, Mercury retrograde, 25 degrees now, backing into this square with Chiron and this trine with Uranus. So even as we're trying to make a plan so that we can feel much better about where our life is going, about some new thing that we're doing, trying to really move forward on it in a big way and in a way that feels more comfortable to us than it has been before, I think running into some old concerns, some old hurt feelings, some old insecurities about our life as we're trying to do some things that we feel are better for us, and that we're more excited about, and really having to, for once and for all, push past these uncomfortable feelings. And with all of this Virgo stuff going on, and with Mercury retrograde, to me it's not just a grinning and bearing it, it's really figuring out how you can put the strategy in place so that these things that have been hard for you in the past aren't hard for you anymore. Not because you keep trying to fight them, but because you start to create the routines and the structures that it is that you need to face these hard things in a much better way, from a place of strength than from a harder place that maybe we were feeling them earlier. And I think this is the time to just take a step back. This is the moment here, especially with the moon coming into a third quarter moon at the end of today, to really begin to move forward, identify with these new commitments that you're doing, let go of the past, and start to bring everything together. I mean, this is going to be the time that everything for sure is going to crystallize, is going to fall into place, is going to happen to help you really begin to do something that it is that you need to do. And I think right now we're trying to tie up everything from the past 2.5 years, like for sure. Make all the commitments, the plans that we need to make, so that when the new moon comes here, which is getting close to very soon happening, we're going to be in a much better spot to embrace it, to move forward on it with no reservations that we've had in the past, and to make sure that we're in the right spot. That's a big thing coming up with Virgo. We want to make sure we're in the right spot here, and that we're aligning ourselves in the proper way, giving ourselves the best platform, so that we can begin to move forward on it in the future and build a reputation off of it when Saturn moves into Capricorn. Okay, so that's what I've got for you. Now your card is it's the Four of Wands upright. This is actually a really good card. This is a card of milestone moments, I like to think. Typically also a card of feeling like you've accomplished something, like you're getting somewhere, like things maybe are starting to fall into place in some way. And I think that could be what's going on. Even though we've got an opposition to Virgo, a square to Virgo, maybe bringing up some uncomfortable things here about your life as you're trying to do something new and feel good about some big commitments that you're making. I think these hard things are really meant to help you find more of this planning, this stability than you have had before, to really begin to identify with where your life is going and to step into it in a way that you have not stepped into it before. And I think if you can start to realize that your life is going in a new way, that you need to get on board with it and to stick with it and to build the routines and to build the foundation under it to support this thing, I think you're going to start to feel much better here, like things could be falling into place and moving in a better direction in some way, or at least just feeling better with some things that are going on, even if these things that are happening still aren't quite what you would like them to be. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you liked it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.